Jesus. Best part of waking up is Diet Coke in your cup.
That's Folgers.
Folgers, I don't drink that devil juice. I'll get to the lawn, Marlene. Let me have some DC first. Gotta wake up. But what I don't get is if Butch can take a cigarette break, why can't I take a DC break? 46 milligrams of caffeine, oof, I'm about to be hopped up like a key bump at a Bon Jovi concert. There's two flavors I like in this world, Diet Coke and sex. People say Diet Coke is addicting. I'll tell you what's addicting, black tar heroin. Hey, everybody shut the hell up. Shh. The day I tried Diet Coke was the day I gave up on cigarettes and alcohol. And I'll tell you what, get enough of these, I feel the same. Oh, what, wine drinkers can do it, but I can't? Yeah, Pepsi's good if you drive a Prius. Nothing better, tastes like the floor of a movie theater. Whiskers, come on now. Whiskers is tweaking. I remember my first Diet Coke. You guys hear that? That's better than an orgasm. I ain't gonna give you this opportunity much longer. Come on now, Whiskers. I think I done cummed it a little. Oh. A little, I mean a lot. I'll be right back. You cameraman, hold on, I'll be right back. Damn cat always getting on that goddamn roof. How many Diet Cokes you had to get up there? I gotta drink 3 just to get on my son's bunk bed. You been getting in my Diet Coke again? How you got so much energy up there? Chasing birds and shit. Reminds me of my PCP days. I would drink regular Coke, but regular Coke is bad for you. This got veggies in it. Aspartame. What the hell you doing up there, you little freaky bitch? And potassium, like potatoes.
Bananas.
There's no bananas in here.
No, bananas have potassium.
I don't like bananas. I don't like the shape of them. Well, that's why he only got 7 more lives, you know, because you don't want no goddamn Diet Coke. Do you want the Coke or not? Come on, get on there. You know what I'm saying? Camouflage Jeff Gordon. Waffle House. Come on, get the hell. All right now, honey, I'm going over to Bruce's.
Welcome everybody to the Plumes of Hazard. I, as always, am your host, the Angstful Vapor. Right down there below me is the one, the only, the lovely, the talented Fubaka. And right over there to my left, probably your right, is the is the man, the myth, the legend, the voider of Ward, is himself, Mass Blast 09. Oh, oof, that was tough. Why is everybody muted?
Open your thing.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Hi.
I could have sworn that I saw my little, box light up. Never mind. There we go. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Bunch of farts. Welcome.
So I have to say thank you right up here up front to Dustin, who sent me that he posted this video on my timeline today, and it was too funny not to share at least part of it with you guys. It's like 5 minutes long, and it just keeps going. The guy's maybe certifiably insane.
Can you link me that too? Because I got to send it to a buddy of mine who literally probably drinks more Diet Coke than you, and that's saying something. So
the guy's name, I want to give him credit. The guy's name is Trevor Wallace, and he does have a YouTube.
Nice.
He does have a YouTube channel. Definitely go watch him because that's where I found that. There's the ugly friggin' Facebook link. But you can Google for it. On the YouTubes, Trevor Wallace and Diet Coke. He comes right up.
Got it.
Very funny.
Cheers,
Very
bitches.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking. Actually, this has been sitting in my fridge for weeks.
Yeah.
I just haven't had the inkling to drink. So I have here, because they sell decent beer at the grocery store near my. Actually, she moved. She doesn't live there anymore. At the grocery store near her old place. This is Samuel Smith Oatmeal Stout.
Nice. Smells delicious all the way here. This is great. So
I've never had it before. I'm actually trying it for the first time. So
Josh posts that, and I can just reply with "What up, Josh?" and be just perfectly fine.
It's
What up?
totally accurate.
What
All
up?
right.
pretty nice, but very smooth.
Festy Rick.
Nice.
Monty's in the house. J.A. Miller. Addy Tooney, of course. Rick. I already said Rick. Corey. Amid. Said Vape Nash. Thanks, Vape.
Vape Niche.
Haven't heard that one in a minute. Is that guy still doing his videos?
I don't know. I haven't.
I think he
seen
does,
anything
but
from
his
him.
videos suck now. Like a lot of those guys that I've liked for a while, like
Yeah.
him
Well,
and iDubbbz, like I can't watch them anymore.
Yeah.
Is iDubbbz,
Well,
is
and-
he starting to suffer too? Because I quit watching iDubbbz a while
been-
back.
In my opinion, he's been sucking for a little bit. Like
Well, and also too, I think
I miss him going after YouTubers.
I think YouTube has been messing with his algorithm.
I would imagine.
No, I'm talking about iDubbbz like actual content.
Well, yeah, sure, but I'm talking about
I mean, he's always
everybody
throwing
else.
down the R word and the G word and
Sure.
like all the
Sure.
banned words on YouTube.
Yeah.
Those guys came up in a time that was a different time where you can
Sure.
you can't even say certain people's names that work in the government, or you
Yeah.
just get your whole
Dude,
video
even-
banned. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, even when Twitch popped off when StarCraft was still hot, and so some people I played with who streamed, like it was the great days of streaming where you could still like what I would do if somebody knew was streaming, I would turn off my ad block, leave their stream up. You could mute it then, and then go to work and just let them get ad revenue off your view while you're at work.
Right.
So my dude could go and make like $600 in like an 8-hour stream, at least. And that's not even during the holidays when the CPM is better.
Mhm.
But anyway, the shit that people would say on stream then,
Right.
holy shit! This was like 2011.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it was crazy.
It makes me wonder, and obviously everything's still up in flux and changing, every day here, but
You didn't have big money in streaming then.
you have to think about, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, like when they study the history of the internet, right?
Yeah.
And like what they will be talking about, because it was, everybody jokes and says the Wild Wild West, right?
The
That's what
2010s
internet's-
was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, I mean, the first, 20 years or, 15 years or so of pretty widespread internet usage. Yeah, total Wild West. And then it became something different.
Yeah.
A little bit, right? I mean, there's certainly pockets for sure. But, the major sites, the major tech sites, the Twitters
Dude.
and the Reddits and...
I remember when
it's-
random attacks were a thing and people would have one computer that was connected to the internet. This is when broadband, basically had you connected 24/7, right?
Mhm.
Sure.
So someone would have a broadband PC that was hooked up, and they'd have a separate machine, the one that had sensitive information on the work computer, the one you did your accounting on, all that shit, that had no internet connection. I don't know how many people you know that did that, but there were people who
Yeah.
rolled
I,
like
I,
that.
I knew a lot of people that had Lotus Notes on a machine that was never connected to the internet.
Because
Had
why?
had Microsoft money on it, had all kinds of stuff, and it was just
Now we put
completely
that shit in
separate.
the cloud.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
God, Bloatus Notes, as we used to call it.
Yes.
Brutally terrible. Just
Yes.
awful.
But
Everything.
that's
I-
what was around.
I had a client that every year in December we had to go in and we had to manually edit tables in Lotus to account for all of their. I don't want to say what they were, but it involved a restaurant, and we had to. I mean, we're talking like. Finally I got tired of it and just spent like a month writing a script to go in and do some of it. But there was still some manual stuff you had to do.
Yeah.
Dude, and I'm talking like this was 2000, 11.
Right.
Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
You need to get a POS system. Like, what?
Piece of shit
Anyways.
system.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was legit, you know, for 10, 12 years it was completely off, you know, no internet, nothing. Everything had to be done with floppies. I mean, it was, you know, and there's still a lot of that too. I mean, yeah. Anyways.
So speaking of shitty tech, the week that I interviewed, before I interviewed at my current job, I already had one lined up for a hospital, and the first thing I'd be tasked with doing was migrating to Windows 10.
Migrating what?
Right, fine. I had to do some of it at CBS, right? But anyone that has worked in tech knows that hospitals have some of the worst tech.
Yeah.
Even though healthcare is one of the largest fucking industries in this country, some of their tech is fucking terrible. Like I would have been dealing with Windows XP machines, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I take the interview? Absolutely. I'm like, you know, pay is good and this, that, and whatever. And then as soon as this one came up, I was like, yeah.
I had one back in early 2000s where it was mainly a Windows shop, but I had to be Novell certified, and I went through all of the Novell certifications and all that, and then they were like, oh, you know, we're changing this and doing that, and I'm like, you motherfuckers, I just spent fucking 6 months doing Novell certifications, and you guys just decide, you know, like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't pay for them. I didn't pay for any of
But
that.
still,
you know,
that's
but
time.
still,
Still effort, time. Yeah.
like, why the hell?
Something you thought you'd be using.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyways,
Work paid for me to get like AWS certified, and it's been just collecting dust since I've had it.
sure.
Like, I don't even fucking access, dude. What the fuck? I mean, thank you, but fuck you.
Oh man.
Those folks probably artisanally hand rolled their logs.
Yeah. There you go, Addy. Win NT. Absolutely. Yeah.
Part Jesus, Mary, Joseph, this season actually start on time? No, we were bullshitting before the show, and I looked down. I was like, "Oh shit, we're late."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been on it. You know, past few weeks.
It's been closer until today. Today was 4 minutes late. Oh well.
Yeah.
But then you get a funny intro. So
Yeah, that was good.
The guy, I didn't watch a whole lot more of his stuff, but he was pretty funny. He did. He had a few good bits. Now, it's no Nat's What I Reckon. Who, by the way, just put out a book. Somebody linked it in the Discord earlier today. I think I saw it. That old Nat, the Aussie chef, like heavy metal looking guy. Oh, he put out a book,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. That's what everybody's doing. Like, I've followed several people that they've been bored, right, and trapped in their houses over this last couple months. They've been writing books, like just random people. Let's see, Maddie Matheson is a ridiculous YouTube chef guy. He wrote another one like immediately after his other one.
He's one of many overweight chefs with forearm tattoos that Vice gave a show to.
Yes, exactly. Who just screams all the time, and it's entertaining in very small doses.
Yeah.
I think he's funniest when he's with Brad Leone from Bon Appetit. Because
he gets very annoying on his own is the problem.
Yeah, he can definitely be annoying on his own. But Brad's such a straight guy, right? And he's ridiculous in his own right, but compared to Maddie, he's a total straight man in that little duo. So he levels him out a little bit, which is funny.
So are we gonna get the elefante in the room out of the way with the was the week before?
Yeah, we probably should. So
we're fucked in a week.
What?
Sorry. Sorry, I was just like, we're fucked in a week.
Yeah, you got 1 week. So I have not been properly educated, and I think next week we should probably have somebody in to talk about this with a little bit more.
You mean
weight.
Alex?
Yeah, like Alex or somebody like that. Probably should have had him on this week.
Yeah, he's our guy.
I forgot to get a hold of him earlier this week, so I didn't.
Alex is our man's.
I am gonna have we're gonna have probably Jay come in next week to talk a little bit about what Bigglesworth is gonna do. But there's a lot of people just straight up closing shop, right?
Yes. Yep.
Including Stash. sadly.
Yep, I know. Freeman Vape Juice. They had been posting about coupon code last call to closing everything out, and yeah, there's quite a bit.
Oh, I need
Yeah.
to order some salt.
Yeah.
So
I'm low on salt.
Addie's right. Thanks for posting that. Addie's got the CASA link to extend the PMTA deadline. With all the pandemic stuff going on, it seems entirely reasonable. Also, they already extended other things, including certain types of cigars and that kind of thing. So they are hoping to, hop onto that train, so to speak.
yeah. So what I find interesting about that though is, and again, I don't. Alex would be the perfect person to ask this to, but I know that the VTA on the 31st put out, this is the Vapor Technology Association, they put out a release basically saying the FDA says it will not extend the September 9th deadline. Late on Friday afternoon, we received an email from the FDA responding to our request of an extension of the PMTA deadline, saying that the FDA will not extend the September 9th deadline. The FDA wrote in part, thank you for contacting us to request an additional extension of the PMTA deadline on behalf of your members. They've received many requests for further extension. After considering your requests, it's determined that it will not grant a further extension of September 9th, 2020. Any additional delay would impede the FDA's critical public health priority to promptly require submission of PMTA applications. So
yeah, Trump saving the thing.
they're saying because the FDA is making decisions on a case-by-case basis, it's imperative that you make your specific case. For example, there are certain elements that may be incomplete in your application. Specifically, the FDA said, encourages you and the members to explicitly identify any content that may be missing from an application. Clearly explain how COVID-19, recent natural disaster, or other unforeseen circumstances has affected the ability to provide such information.
Right.
So, they also said they will work with companies to get their applications through the process during the 12-month review period. 12 months, that's a whole year, review period. Under certain circumstances, the FDA wrote, if an application is sufficient to be accepted, filed, and proceeded to scientific review. During such review, your member would subsequently provide the needed information and show progress towards addressing deficiencies and all that other stuff. So the decision as to whether to enforce the 1-year review period may take into account responsiveness, to our request, the particular nature and extent. So long story short, it's saying that they're going to devote resources to expediting any reviews for both small and large manufacturers. But they're not extending it. So I know that, there's, CASA is going to, make their case for that as they should. And this was specifically directed for the manufacturers. Because there's still an area for retail and distributors and stuff like that. So, one of the main questions, which I've seen, and the reason a lot of them are pushing to just go completely out of business is, will there be a sell-through period after September 9th for any of the products? Yeah. And the FDA absolutely replied with no. Unlike prior regulations where there's a sell-through period, there will not be a sell-through period. In other words, if a product SKU is not covered by the PMTA and that has been accepted for review, manufacturer has simply failed to file any PMTA, those products cannot continue to be legally sold after September 9th.
Right.
So, and the last thing is what happens on September 10th. In the past, the FDA has focused its enforcement activity around manufacturers and importers rather than the distributor and the retailers. This, again, we're talking about retailers and distribution now. Mm-hmm. They say that, the supply chain is just most efficient use of its limited enforcement resources. Importantly, it will take the FDA some time to compile a list of those products for which it has received PMTAs in order to begin its enforcement activity. So it is going to take them some time. People should not use that as, oh, well, we still have time to do this or that, because you don't. Yeah. They're just being realistic about the process. And then one of the things they said, it'll continue its enforcement priorities. The FDA outlined and reiterated that its enforcement priorities are they will continue to focus on flavored cartridge-based ENDS products, all other ENDS products, which manufacturers have failed to take adequate measures to prevent access to use by minors, any ENDS products that are targeted to minors, which are likely to promote use by minors, and last, manufacturers which have not filed PMTAs on or by September 9th. So what can the retailers do? They can ask manufacturers for specific information on whether their products are covered by a PMTA, which good luck.
Right.
Because that's going to be very slim pickings.
Very slim
So,
pickings. I think so, and I need to go back and look, but the last I checked, there's still only a very small handful of manufacturers that managed to get even the PMTA submitted, much less accepted, much less approved. Right? I don't think any of them have been approved yet.
And the one that made the news for submission.
Yeah.
Was
Dr. Cronies, right?
Yeah. But yeah. So
Addie just brought up. I haven't seen that video. Vaping versus tobacco: the truth you need to know from Steve Forbes. Addie said it's a good one to pass around. I haven't seen
Dude,
that.
anyone with money, like Steve Forbes, is opposed to it. The problem is there's no one in office that's endorsing it, and that's ultimately where it counts, right?
Yeah, it's a bummer too because as awful and whatever as this whole pandemic has had, it kind of sucks that it just happened to fall right at a really crappy time for our particular little hobby and life-saving technology.
Yeah. Like when you hear about former such and such office holder endorses so and so for president, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
What's that do? Nothing.
I like you. I'm famous, and people will know this.
Right.
I did something.
So there is a small list that was. Let me see here. This was August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday that was updated.
September or August?
Sorry, September. So yesterday. And basically it says several parent companies and executives have assured us that they will be applying for their license to sell vape products in the States. We're coming down to the wire considering the deadline September, originally scheduled for May, blah, blah, blah. So this was on okay. So this was actually written on August 1st, 2020. So, but they've continued updating. And at that point, Kite in the Cloud, the Sauce LA, TBD liquids, J Vapes, Air Factory, Baton Vapor, Naked, Ruthless, and Prism, Halo, e-cigs, and EC blends.
Yeah.
And Juul, in addition, has also been on that also. Vuse,
Kite and Cloud. I'm a little surprised at Kite and Cloud. They were pretty small, weren't they?
Yeah.
I thought.
Wait, Naked's closing, you said?
No, these are not closing. These are ones that actually have confirmed their
PMTA
they're filing.
Yeah, they're filing.
They're filing.
Oh,
it
yeah,
doesn't
Naked,
mean
yeah. You basically named all national brands.
right. Just because they file doesn't mean that they're going to be accepted.
Oh,
and
no,
remember,
for sure.
And remember, the filing doesn't cost anything. The acceptance and the scientific part is what costs thousands. So, it's a long process, to be accepted.
You don't get that money back if you get rejected.
Right.
Right. And you have to,
for sure.
so you have to be accepted as an applicant first. So you have to submit the application and be accepted.
fail.
And then, right. And and this is also covering hardware manufacturers too.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
There's also possible submissions, and the possibles are Vupu, Innovape, Aspire, Suicide Bunny, Vape Juice, and Black Unicorn.
oh my god. Okay. I'm glad you mentioned Suicide Bunny.
I was gonna say I haven't heard the name Suicide
No,
Bunny
I'm glad
in a
you
really
mentioned
long
it,
time.
and I'm glad I'm drinking because it made me remember
Yeah.
my encounter with the owner
Yes.
when we were in Dallas, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Long story short, I don't remember how it even came up, but Pip's husband was flexing that they're like the #1 selling juice,
Yes.
and I said something like that doesn't make it the best. And here I am saying this to him at a hotel bar with basketball shorts on and a button down in flip flops. Yeah.
Yeah. Her name's Pip, Addie. PIP.
She's cool. Her husband is a bit of a cheese ball.
I haven't. I don't think I ever met her husband. She is nice.
Yeah, she's cool as fuck, but yeah, husband's a bit of a cheese ball.
Yeah.
I haven't used that term in a while to describe somebody. It's a very 90s term, if I recall.
For sure.
I have a somewhat vape related topic to bring up.
Hold it in your brain for a minute. I was gonna bring up.
I have
something.
it on my other monitor. Don't worry.
Okay. Where was it? He just said a minute ago. Duro said, I can't find it, but he basically said, when are some of these manufacturers going to nut up and tell the FDA to go screw themselves? I think that's easy for us to say. I mean,
Sure.
because that's not exactly something to. It's one thing to suggest a course of action to somebody that may get them arrested. It's another thing to actually, have them go do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or not necessarily arrested, but certainly fined into oblivion, right? Yeah, having the ruination of your business, and not just having to close your business, but having debt associated into that. I don't know.
Sure.
That sounds like I don't disagree with you. It would be great if somebody would do that. I just don't know.
There
anybody
are going to
would
be
do it.
ones that do. There will be. It's
Sure.
just.
But will they do it passively by continuing to stay open and sell, or are they? Because that's what I think is going to happen to some of these things. You're still going to be able to get a hold of it.
I mean, like, look at it this way. When they did the flavor ban in New York, they were manufactured. So remember I told you, who the fuck was it? One of the online retailers we like. Origin Vape? I think it was Origin Vape. They won't ship to New York at all. I was trying to buy Orion shit from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're the only one I had an issue with, but any other manufacturer, even like Bombi said, if your order gets seized, that's on you.
Right.
We're still going to be shipping to your state. I don't see any reason to stop that. If,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just looking at it like denying you ever use steroids. It's just if you already go down the path of denying it, you just keep fucking denying it.
That's right. Double down
until
double
you
down.
test positive. If they don't have a positive test on you, keep denying it.
Right. I mean, I suppose if you set up your your corporation properly, right, and then you're not personally liable for anything that happens to the business, I guess maybe consult your lawyer. We are not lawyers.
Here's a conversation. Here's a conversation that I was having with Lab Rat. Was I said I really don't think that this is going to be like super impactful right away for the manufacturers. I think it's going to impact more. The government's not stupid. They know that people are going to be pushed to DIY.
Right.
Okay. Right. So how do you fucking nip that in bud right away? You start going after nicotine.
Yeah.
You start going after the flavors. How do you do that? Well, you say, you start putting taxes. Well, you start putting taxes on it. They can literally tell them who to sell and who to not sell. And don't give me no bullshit about, oh, no, they can't. Yet they can, because they can fucking tell you don't sell it. You can't sell it to the state. How are you going to ship it? You're going to start lying on shipping labels, all that. Yeah, they will. So these companies that make this nicotine, for example, for legit purposes like pesticide creation for everything else, they're not gonna fucking deal with someone who's hot, the vaping industry. So
Yeah.
they're not gonna sell it to those
How
people.
about this? I just said this in chat. This is where the new black market gets made.
Right.
Sure, but here's part of the problem too is how much are people going to bear? Sure, there'll be a black market, but then what? What are you going to pay? What how much is a gallon of Nick? The prices have already fucking shot through the roof because I looked.
How
Because
important is it to them, right?
It's not a bad time to pick some shit up and put it away in the freezer.
Right.
But the issue will come where those companies will not want to look from some of the people that I had talked to. A lot of the flavor companies were already not even, you remember back in the day, some flavor companies did not want to sell to people who were going to be using it, not for,
Food flavoring.
food flavoring,
Yeah.
and because they didn't want to get involved with the bad rap of that, and obviously, some businesses will go out of business, because here's the thing, before you were making juice, you were buying this by the truckload. Okay. And you had a good amount of overhead that was gone. And now you're having to pay a tax per whatever, the liter, per the gallon, whatever you want to say. Who cares if you buy a fucking truck full, whether you buy a truck full or you buy just a gallon, you're still paying that tax.
Right.
There's no way around it, or whatever it might be. But man, they if they want to, make sure that only, and again, good on for these companies for filing their PMTAs. But let's be realistic. For a single SKU, is your company willing to pay, $500,000-$600,000?
Yeah.
For a single SKU? Sure. And some of them might be saying, well, sure, because this single SKU is going to be one out of 5 freaking flavors that are going to be left in the whole United States.
Right.
We'll make our money back. Well, that's a big gamble.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Who wants
because-
to laugh? Because I'm depressed.
All right. Are you going to fart or something?
No.
Yeah.
I was going to pull up something that's somewhat vape related that I showed you in the Discord the other day.
Do it.
No. Do it. He's got to share your screen, though.
I got the OBS set up. One sec. Let me cue it up. Boom.
I will pin your video here. Oh, potato net.
Oh, my potato.
Yeah, a little bit.
I told you I hate my internet. I can't wait to move.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is this you see as I'm zooming in? Oh, is this a soldering kit? That's an ego
It's
battery?
an ego stick battery soldering.
Oh, wait,
What?
wait. Is that a 510 threaded soldering iron tip? You bet your ass it is. Look at this shit. Actually, no. We haven't gotten to that part yet.
That
I've
is
vaped
awesome.
for too long to not know that is a fucking 510 thread. Look, I have very mixed feelings about this. I really do.
I have mixed
'Cause
feelings
what-
about it because, I mean, and Master, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but how hot can a teeny tiny little lipo like that really get?
So here's the thing. I think its max output is 11 watts, which is about right for an ego battery. It can get to 400, 430 degrees.
Yeah, for like 10
Yeah.
seconds.
But here's the thing. So I was showing this to Chance,
Yeah.
and who knows junk tech better than that guy?
Right.
He's like, this has a use in that it's good for like smaller solder joints or joining small wire.
Yeah.
But just look at the ease of use. You could power it off of a battery bank. I think that's the coolest thing about it, because all that tells me is that the max draw of it is under 2 amp,
For sure.
probably somewhere between 1.5 and 2 amp.
Yeah.
510 threaded iron, like it's $6.33. So China knew that a vape ban was coming, so they repurposed their ego batteries into soldering irons. Checkmate, capitalism.
Well, we've had the ones that had, the lights and
Yeah.
and I mean, flashlight and everything else. But just like somebody said on Matt's post about this,
wait.
the industry is gonna narc on itself.
Oh, yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's
Good
just
luck.
how it rolls.
Wait, there's more. There are mods that are repurposed.
At least
What
it's
do
got
we
a
do?
stouter lipo in that little guy, probably.
But like, You can do S. Oh wow, he's doing like border. He's doing SMD shit. Look at those little resistors.
Yeah. I mean,
This has its place. I wouldn't build a mod with this, but
You could probably build a Duke.
the Duke looks like it was built with this.
the TS 100.
This is a broke ass version of that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean the TS 100. There's a USB-C powered one. I mean, usually it's a 12 to 24 watt. A 12 to 24 volt power supply. That'll run it, and that one goes from 200 degrees to 700 degrees, but it's not a cheap little ego battery. It actually is a constant power supply. So but yeah, I thought this. I'm surprised you didn't get a picture of him actually holding the warm tip.
It's convenient. You can pick it up by either side.
Yeah. But hey, so since you brought up the tools, I wanted to go over a few small tools that I had picked up that have been I think super useful. I have actually 3, and I don't know if
I'll bust mine out as well if you're playing.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've talked about this one. I think I've mentioned it or showed it on the show before.
Someone
but
clip that, please.
It's the this first one is called the Go Box 32 piece Ouija set. Okay, and it comes in a small box like this, and inside you have all of these guys.
Yeah.
Okay, really nice fitting bits.
I think we talked about it before you got it in.
We talked about it, and then
Ouija makes the best bits.
Yeah, and then you have this ratchet is amazing with the amount of teeth that it has in it. Super precise, and also have the driver, and the driver is also spring loaded, so you can actually put your bit in there, and it's gonna grab it, hold it in place, and then when you're ready to put them out, pull back.
Oh, right on.
So really,
and that's also a 1/4-inch socket in and of itself.
Yes, yeah. and this guy can be used on a drill, whatever. I paid around $25, $26, and I've used this
cheaper
kit.
Than I did.
I've used this kit, quite often. It's great. I can just throw it in my backpack. It's great to work on compressors on the refrigerators, to keep the ice cream cold. So good stuff. The next one I have from Ouija also was more of a driver set. And this one is the precision screwdriver set, 24 piece and magnetic. And so when you see this, it looks like a a battery pack, power bank, but it's thin, it is metal, it is an aluminum, and it's nice. It's spring loaded. Yeah.
Ew.
And then there are all your bits with a driver, and these are all magnetically held in. So definitely not stuff you're going to work on,
Dude, this handle,
stuff. Yeah.
Super solid, also very lightweight.
Yeah. And then you have your driver here.
And you can twirl it.
And it has a top that will spin
top.
to allow you. Yeah. It's really nice. All magnetically, held in stuff. You just put the bits back down.
Honestly, this is probably like the slickest piece.
It is. And all goes back in a nice case, slim for the pack. So
dude,
and
this fits so nice. Like I had to take apart like hella laptops the other week.
They do.
And they just fit really nice.
Yeah, and then the last set that I have is the Wear a Craft Form Compact, and it comes in this cool pouch. It's got Velcro on it, so if you have a workbench and stuff like that, you can put it in there. Good Velcro, and it's this guy right here.
Ooh, that's tubby.
Yeah,
fits your
it's
hand.
got a really. It's got a
Do you
really.
remember I
really
posted
nice...
in our Slack when I had the extender out and I made it look like it was my dick?
So this guy here has a button on the top. You push that, and there are your bits stored in the center.
It's like Newman's shaving cream can in Jurassic Park.
Pops open.
Yes.
Pop that guy back down, and you have a magnetically held in and locked bit. So locked into place, ain't going anywhere. When you want to remove that bit, you just pull up. Good to go.
Dude, that's cool.
So unlocked. And then you also have the extension, which then turns into something you can put in your drill.
Oh, man.
Yep.
That shit is dope.
It doesn't ratchet. That's okay. You could literally, and I did it. You could, have this one-handed. Some areas you have to get in and possibly change the bit or extend this, to get to something. You can just do it all one-handed. So
they do make ratcheting handles, but it doesn't. It has like fewer features in that it doesn't extend. Or, doesn't have like the bit holding.
And this one has. This one has a total of 6. So it's got 3 of the Phillips and 3 of the flathead bits on it. And obviously you could put whatever other bits you want in there. And they're all interchangeable between, Weha and them. So you could, it's just nice to be able to have, those bits, handy.
How do you get them out of that handle? Because sometimes those things are a pain to get in and out of.
Oh, so they're really nice to get in and out of there.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really nice to get in and out of there. So they don't fall out, but they are really. It's weird how they have the plastic set up because they have it so the plastic can flex.
Yeah.
So when you see it, it's kind of like, it's kind of held in there in a I don't know, a different way, but these little plastic fins can flex to allow the bits to come in and out easy. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can do all this, one-handed, pop the bits out and put them in. So, but yep.
That's cool as shit. I didn't realize that there were bits inside the handle.
Yep. So, and again, I paid for this guy. Well, for the one that we showed earlier, the one that looked like a battery pack, I believe that one was around $28. Yeah.
I got mine for 30 on the button.
Yeah, and then this guy here, I believe I got it for right around 30. 32.
Because that the price on Amazon for that driver specifically has been the same since I bought. So I originally bought myself one 2 birthdays ago. It was a birthday present to myself, and then I fucking left it at work. And I know exactly whose crew fucking took it, but I can't prove it. So I bought myself another one last summer. It was the same goddamn price.
So Festi said, Germans are killing it with tools. I have to say that they're so I'm not talking precision tools, but when that when you have used like a precision ground tool like these bits, dude, when you're using it in on certain screws that are shit already, like these bits fit like crazy, and I've tried to see, and it's just the way that the bit is shaped and all that, and man, it makes a world of difference when you're unscrewing or screwing something in, especially if it's it's going to strip. Right. I'm not saying that these will prevent that, but definitely having the correct fitment on those bits makes a big difference. So and these are all like that, they just fit.
Well, it doesn't help that there are far too many types of fasteners that have very similar looking female sides, so to speak.
Yep.
Like the JIS, it looks exactly like a Phillips, but they don't fit at all because the angles are all wrong. And the only thing that's different is, I think, isn't that the one that has like the hashes out from some of the plus, like it's got some hashes or something out there?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Now Weha makes also some very, and both Weha and Wera make some very expensive tools. Like we're talking, and see, and the thing is that I had heard about these, but because of the name, German tools, and I'm like, yeah, right. I'm never, I'm not going to pay this crazy amount of money when I can just go to Harbor Freight and buy a
Chuff can be very persuasive.
Well, no, but the thing is then you start looking at like, dude, this is a big freaking set, and it includes the ratchet, and it's a very, and for under $50, for a set like that. And
I could see for that quality, you could easily
Sure.
charge $50 to $60 for.
yeah, and really the again, you could get crazy expensive with the different kits that they have, and they go on sale. So it's something that you could just sit there and watch, and you might get 10, $15 off.
I was talking with Chubb about this. He's been championing quite a bit of German tools lately, and he has some in his collection. But he's like, there wasn't a need when he was younger to buy German tools because American tools were just as good. They held
Sure.
a candle to them. But over time, he's kind of veered more toward German tools with most stuff outside of Snap-on is. And Snap-on's way too expensive for what it is, even though they're tops in terms of quality.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So-
Weehaw makes really good stuff. Wera makes I've only bought Weehaw bits now because they're so fucking good.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, so when you pull this up, it's say the Go Box, okay, the Impact Bit Set, which is what this guy is. When you pull it up, you get manufacturers like Milwaukee, you get manufacturers like DeWalt and Bosch. And this is a 32-piece set, which is pretty common with the different sizes, and it's also got a nut driver, and it has a socket, that you can put a socket on. So for most of those sets, you're hovering, like for example, the DeWalt one is a 40-piece, so it's bigger, and it's around $25. Okay, the Milwaukee is a 40-piece also, and it's around $27. So you're hovering around $26, $27, for those, and then you have someone like Bosch with like a 32-piece set, but it's another thing is it's bigger, right? So they are longer bits, stuff like that. And they're around, so you're hovering around $25 average. So for this being, I bought it for like 27 or whatever it wasn't that much more out of a price range of, other tools. But what they didn't come with was the ratchet. So all of the other ones are driver sets, meaning you either have to have a drill, you have to have, you have to have something else or an actual manual screwdriver.
Yeah.
None of them came with the ratchet. So, and, I mean, I've used that thing, plenty of times. So, you get just, to give you an example. So we had just for the ratchet and the driver, just for those two pieces, they charge like $25. So when I saw that set, the 32-piece set in the Go Box for, almost 30, I'm like, yeah, do it. So, but yeah, it's good, good. And my thing lately has been, I used to have a tool bag with me. I hate not having any tools on me, even if it's just a screwdriver, because of the size, right? So I don't want to be carrying with me. Do something this small, you throw in a backpack.
Yeah.
If I know I'm going to need it, I'll throw it in a pocket. Like, sure, it's heavy. I don't want to have it in there the whole day, but or something like this, which this is really light and it has, but see, if I know I'm going to need a Torx, I can just throw a Torx in here and take it with me. So,
Right.
I actually really like using. I have like a separate thing of power bits. I like using I don't want to use the extender unless I have to, because I have power bits like in my bag already. I like
Sure.
using. The only thing is though, they're not magnetized like the Wera bits that come with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, honestly, like I have noticed, even when I was unscrewing some stuff on I forget what it was, but, even if the magnet piece doesn't work very well, like, for example, the bit itself was not magnetized.
Yeah.
The magnet was in the bits fit so well that
Don't need it.
they just held the screw in,
Yeah.
So because I tested it, I'm like, well, did the bit get magnetized by having it going in that, and the bit itself was not magnetized, but you put it in the screw and it was not moving. So
Well, there's a little cheap like $6 Klein magnetizer, demagnetizer. The thing is,
yeah. But yeah,
it's all
that's-
playing with magnets.
that's my contribution, the little kits. I mean, and it's
funny you brought up 3 items. I'm like, hey, I got the same shit.
Yep. No, and they're just great to have. I mean, I keep a small toolkit
stuff.
in my vehicles. You never know when you need it, but something like that, man, for $30, I mean, it's
Yeah, no. Honestly, the Weehaw is like, It's so nice. It's a fixture in my bag when I go to work and such.
Yeah.
And I think it's close to already paying for itself, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because some people were talking about Snap-on, and we were having this conversation with Chuff, who's been around the industry, who's been we're talking like machinists and stuff like that, and again, I had no real life experience with Snap-on tools. But I until I had to do I had to do some work on a diesel vehicle, and they had to have it was a special tool, and only Snap-on sold it. For sure, I paid like $90 something for this fucking tool that, with a bit of ingenuity, I probably could have made. It might have not worked as good. Okay, but here's the thing: I used the tool, didn't ding it, scratch it, nothing. I put it up for sale and it sold for $80. Right. Hey, whatever. I got 2 weeks, out of it for $10, whatever. But one of the things we were talking about is he was looking at ratchets for Snap-on. So, a lot of DIYers, back in the day, some people were diehard Craftsman fans because they lived and died by that warranty. Yeah. Now, original Craftsman stuff, held up really good. I only had, in late 80s and early 90s, I only had one. I had a set of box wrenches that had ratcheting ends on them that were Craftsman, and I paid, I think, $80 per set, and it was only like a 8 or 9 piece set, so it was just pretty expensive for that. But this was back in the day where the open end wrenches that had ratcheting ends on them were not super popular as they are now. And I had one of those break. Now, what was I doing with it? Well, I had it on and I was beating it with a sledgehammer, which I probably shouldn't have been doing, but it was stuck. So long story short, I snapped the teeth inside of it, took it in, swapped it out, no problem. So I was sad to see the quality go down, and then also, I know Lowe's picked them up. I think that's right. Yeah, Lowe's, right. Lowe's picked them up. I don't know what kind of. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know, but what kind of a warranty they have on them. Yeah. So, but that's what we were talking about Snap-on, because some of these ratchets that Chuff was looking at, we're talking. In total, it was going to be close to $400.
He's like, I just want the handle. Their handle is the only thing that's worth it. According to him, he's like, their handles are where it's at, sockets or whatever. Yeah. And another thing you have to remember too is these Snap-on guys drive around and they put mechanics in debt. Literally, they will. They will sell you anything you want that is Snap-on, and sure, you can have credit with them, but you're going to pay. And $15 a week for the rest of your life.
That's right. And sure, some of these mechanics soar up and down, and I get it. That is your trade. Right. So if you have someone who can provide you with a tool that has an amazing warranty, then why not, right? But yeah, it's a interesting world with tools like that.
Just saying, the Harbor Freight air gun, their air tools stack up to Snap-on. So look into that.
Yeah, and that's another one that was putting a little bit of heat on them, where they have a competitor, for hey, I think it's good to set the bar at, hey, this impact gun can do this, and but
yeah, because I've taken some advice from Chuff on tools. I believe him when he says it's like, just the handles are worth it. Don't buy the set, just get the handle.
Yeah,
and that handle's going to get passed down a few generations.
And on the other side of that, people like Harbor Freight, you got to give it to them, because back even from the Chicago Electric days, some of their stuff was great for, you're not a mechanic or you're using it every day. Why spend this? You have to start getting down to, you use this for a year and then you break it. It only costs you $12. Great. Right. You paid $600 for this, and you'll never, break it, but you're only going to use it maybe once or twice a year. Like, is that really worth it to you? Like,
Exactly.
Obviously on things like jack stands and shit that your life might depend on.
Literally might depend on. Yeah.
And they've had some issues with that. They've
Yep.
had some recalls and stuff like that. But I remember on my Bronco, I was really close to pulling the trigger on a Warren winch for the front, 12,000 pound. And I looked at the Badlands series that they had just come out of and started doing research and finding out the guy from Warren, one of their engineers, had quit, gone to Harbor Freight and said, hey, what about releasing a set of these, winches that we can come up with? And the design was really close to the Warren one, and they internally worked exactly the same. So anyways,
possibly made of
stuff
plastic
like
and Chinesium instead of steel where it should be, but
maybe.
Maybe.
But that when they put them, and I think longevity of the device too, right? So some of the winches could be out on a vehicle for years, right? Where the Ballad ones, maybe 5-10 years after being dipped in the mud for a few times, you might want to change it out. But then you only paid $400 with this, with the 25% off coupon, because they didn't have the little asterisk that said you couldn't use it on winches. And you paid whatever, $2,000, $1,000 or whatever it was for,
a big boy.
a brand, big boy. So,
Right.
But,
TLDR, everyone should at least have a quality screwdriver.
Well, sure, yes. Everyone should have a quality screwdriver, and don't be afraid to actually, look at some of the higher end names and tools and stuff like that, because you might find, you don't have to buy the whole kit. Just buy a screwdriver. So
that's right. All right, everybody.
Like even with like the electronic screwdrivers and stuff, like I found the first because those were I used more than anything else before I actually started doing like real shit. But having good electronic screwdrivers, you're just like, what the fuck have I been doing all these years?
Twisting them like suckers.
Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out to this week's Plumes of Hazard. Next week, I don't know. There might be some weird stuff going on next week, but I will say this. Order a lot of e-liquid in the next week.
if you can.
If you can. All right, everybody. You guys stay safe. Don't get in the anti-masker fights.
I don't want to see your bitch asses on World Star.
That's right. Nobody wants to see any world stars. All right. Y'all take it easy. We will see you guys next week. Deuces.